Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to RENEBOXYOUNG, a platform where we simply discuss, critique, and analyze, and simply talk about sport of boxing in a level-headed, mature, coherent fashion. Subscribers since day one. Recent subscribers, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for tuning into Flash Lives, premieres of videos such as this, Playback Family, salute everybody who's been, supporting, commenting in the comment sections of all the videos, and the YouTube shorts and what have you. Thank you guys so much. I love collaborating with you, and I just love talking the sport of boxing. It's as simple as that, easy peasy, you know what I'm saying? So if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. If you love the sport of boxing, this is a place for you. So let's get right to it, man. Haven't done one of these videos in a while as far as a post-fight reaction, you know what I'm saying? Taking my time, breaking it down, and must I say, this Jaron Ennis versus Villa fight, I forgot the dude's last name. I think it's Roman Villa, but you go back a little bit with Villa. He's a tough competitor, man, and I kind of see it, I just try to have an open mind about it when it comes to, fights and post-fight reactions. I try to see everything in that freaking ring, you know what I'm saying? I love it. I love every second of it. I always love to see Jaron Ennis fight. And he got a lot of slack. He got a lot of, criticism, in regards to his last fight that he had against Jaron. I have no idea how to pronounce that dude's last name. Jaron Ennis' last opponent before Villa. Jaron, whatever, right? Jaron's a slippery guy. Jaron, wonderful footwork. Everybody knew the story, and everybody exhausted that fight. And Jaron Ennis' performance, even though Jaron Ennis, if I remember correctly, he won every round, but he got a lot of criticism. That's my point. Jaron Ennis got a lot of criticism in that last fight, and Jaron Ennis, man, in this fight, he really, made a statement. He really made a statement against Villa. Why? Because people who don't know Villa, man, Villa is a tough guy. He proved it. Villa proved that he's a tough fighter, man, against Ennis, in this fight. A chin. Villa just was getting them shots on his chin and his face, uppercuts, man. Jaron Ennis showed once again, and he proved to the world and to the welterweight division that he's there to stay, hopefully. I don't know if he's going to move up to 154. We'll talk about that in a minute. But he proved that, he not only has skills, ladies and gentlemen. Jaron Ennis portrayed to the world that he has amazing skills. He has the speed. He has the foot. He has it all. And he has the power. The power just really... Let's not undermine Villa's chin. He took some shots, man. He was taking those shots round after round. From round one, Jaron Ennis' swift, crisp jab that couldn't be seen, was landing. Since round one, he already had Villa's nose bleeding. And that nosebleed was a problem round after round, thanks to the jab. Thanks to the jab. We see it time and time again, ladies and gentlemen. A fighter who knows how to use his jab. A fighter who knows how to use an educated jab, the right way. It's going to cause problems in a fight, for their opponent. So Jaron Ennis just showed that, he showed, it was a beautiful performance. I'm trying to say that. I'm trying to, break down and put into words how much of a wonderful performance that was and how much I was enjoying it. Now, this is the thing about it. There are two extremes in this, or I guess there's one point that a lot of people are seeing according to, Jaron Ennis's performance against Villa. That he schooled Villa, that, of course he did, but making it kind of sound like Jaron Ennis wasn't touched in this fight, like he did a perfect performance. I wouldn't say it was perfect, because after a few rounds, when Villa started warming up, because the first few rounds, man, Villa just had his guard up. He didn't really know what to do, because the first round was beautiful, using the jab. The coach, Jaron Ennis' coach, like I said, man, I love to see fights. When I see these fights, man, I pay attention to what the corners are saying, I pay attention to what the coaches are saying, how are they looking, just all these little nuances and all these little aspects in the fight. After the first round, when Jaron Ennis was in the corner, his pops, I think it's his dad, his coach, was saying, hey, okay, you already have him confused. He's already frustrated. He don't know what to do. Villa don't know what to do. You already got him with the jab. Now let's confuse him more. I'm paraphrasing what his coach was saying. Now let's confuse him more. Let's use the go southpaw on him. And then Jaron Ennis went southpaw the second round for a while, and my point is, the first several rounds, Villa had his guard up. That's it. He was doing a couple shots, landing a couple shots and stuff, but Jaron Ennis had him. He had him. He was just having fun with it, man. And what I'm trying to say is just that when Villa started warming up, man, that's where the dangerous Villa started coming out. I think this is the best Villa I've ever seen. Against Ennis. According to your opponent and how tough your opponent and competitive your opponent and skilled your opponent is, is going to bring out the best in you. I think this was the best Villa I've seen, man. You know what I'm saying? Even though he lost, even though he got beat hard, Villa was really, you know, fighting back when he's starting to get warm up or what have you, and just started, you know, to fight back Jaron Ennis around the mid rounds. Landing some, this is what I'm trying to get at here, landing some nice shots on Ennis, landing some dangerous shots on Ennis. And this is what I'm saying. I wouldn't say necessarily that Ennis performed a perfect fight, man, but it was really fun to watch. This is why I gave that introduction in the first several minutes of this video, that, you know, Ennis is super fun to watch and exciting to watch, man. And this is another reason why, because after a few rounds where, you know, Villa not necessarily winning, obviously Villa wasn't winning, but he was starting to land nice shots, because Ennis, he started doing the inside fight. And I definitely want to, you know, emphasize this point on Ennis. A lot of people, you know, got to understand this about Ennis, man. He has different tools in his arsenal that he can pull out in a fight according to his opponents, man, which is beautiful in Ennis, man. Just a dynamic all-around fighter, man. Different styles. He reminds me of Stephen Fulton, man. Fulton, you follow Fulton's career. Go back several fights, man. Several, way before Brandon Figueroa. I don't necessarily remember all the opponents' names of, you know, Fulton. Too many fighters, man. But several fights, man, Fulton has shown that he can fight. He can box at a distance with range, with a jab. You know, beautiful footwork. Just, you know, selecting his punches skillfully. You know, in and out, bam, bam. Just all around high IQ fighter. And Stephen Fulton can also fight on the inside. He can fight wonderfully, beautifully on the inside. Toe-to-toe, freaking, when I mean on the inside, shoulder to shoulder, practically cheek to freaking cheek, man. Forehead to forehead. You know, just roughing you up and pushing you with the shoulder, and, you know, reading you, feeling them up, your opponent, and bam, throwing uppercuts on the inside. That's what Ennis was doing, man. And it was beautiful. And this is the thing, watch this. I don't know if a lot of people caught this. While Ennis was doing that in the mid fight, because Villa was starting to do the inside game and trying to go at Ennis and landed some nice shots at that, Ennis wasn't backing down. It kind of also reminded me of what Spence was doing with Porter. You know, to Porter's defense, a lot of fans out there, right? Defend Porter. I'm sorry, defend Spence. Sorry, defend Spence in Spence's performance against Porter, because what Spence was doing in that particular fight, like I said, it just depends on your opponent, ladies and gentlemen. Styles make fights, and sometimes these fighters, man, these fighters' bravado, these fighters' pride doesn't permit them to fight a smart fight. I'm not saying Ennis wasn't fighting a smart fight, but what I'm trying to get at is what his coach said. His coach said when Villa was starting to get at him, bam, landing some beautiful shots on Ennis, man. A lot of people are ignoring this. His coach in the corner in one of those rounds, after one of those rounds, he said, "Hey, man, stop doing what you're doing. You got to back up, man. You got to use your feet. You got to get away. You land your shots and get out of there, man. Get out of the danger zone." That's what his coach was telling him. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, what his coach was saying, but Ennis wasn't doing that. He wasn't listening to his coach in that aspect, ladies and gentlemen. But it was beautiful because but it was dangerous also at the same time, because Ennis was getting hit too, man. He was getting hit nicely by Villa. Villa's a power hitter, man. He can punch, which is why he knocked down Rashidi Ellis, man, and he got the win barely towards the end of the rounds. But what Ennis was doing, man, he was fighting on the inside wonderfully. You know, but that's the thing. It wasn't necessarily, I wouldn't call it a perfect fight, because when it comes to Ennis talk, man, I mentioned this point in particular several times in live sessions, in videos. Check out the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Go back and check the Ennis videos and the live sessions where I talk about Ennis. Is Ennis, he's known for getting caught in the inside. Clean. Because he gets so confident, and his skill level is just, you know, in another planet. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, belittle his opponents, but his just, you know, you already know, man, Ennis got amazing IQ. He gets so confident because of that, then he starts getting clocked, man. I've seen it time and time again throughout Ennis' career against very low par opponents, ladies and gentlemen. You know, so, but despite all that, man, Ennis once again showed he has power. He has amazing, you know, he can fight on the inside if he wants to, which is to a certain degree risk. It's risky for him to do that, but Ennis also showed too, ladies and gentlemen, that Ennis also has a chin. He has a chin. You know, he could take some punches, hard punches. Come on now, let's not ignore Villa. If people want to say that, you know, to Bud Crawford's defense, you know, Mean Machine, man, he he's a tough hitter. He's a really tough competitor. Look at Bud's resume. Mean Machine was no joke. Then we gotta say the same about Villa. Villa's no joke either, ladies and gentlemen. He beat a couple undefeated fighters before before this Ennis fight. Undermining these underdogs sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, leads fighters to lose. Leads the guy who's not the underdog or whatever to lose sometimes. They get a little overconfident sometimes. It happens time and time again in the sport, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying, but what I'm trying to say is this: Ennis showed that he got a chin, man. You know what I'm saying? And this leads me to believe this, and I'm strongly convinced even more now. And I've been saying this. I'm one of the very, very few, I'm assuming. I assume it because, there are so many boxing channels out there. I really don't know what everyone's saying, but I think I'm one of the very, very few, and I've been saying this for a minute, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm strongly convinced that Ennis, he can beat Bud Crawford, man. And I don't care what backlash I get, but I'm going to stand on this one, man. I'm definitely, especially after seeing this performance against, Villa. I definitely think that, Ennis can take Bud Crawford punches. And I'm convinced I'm going to go to the next level. I think y'all know what I'm getting to here, man. I'm convinced he can beat Spence too, man. I am. And I'm going to stand on that one, baby. You know what I'm saying? And I've been saying this for a minute too. I've been saying this, that I think Ennis definitely has the tools to beat Bud Crawford and Spence. And he's just proved it more to me. I'm just speaking of my perspective. You know what I'm saying? If you think Spence will just, beat Ennis pillar to post, we got to see it. We got to see it. And same with me. I'm quite convinced and strongly convinced that he has the tools, ladies and gentlemen. Ennis has the tools to beat both Spence and Bud. I'm not saying he will beat them, but he does have the tools. He can beat them guys. He can beat those guys. Even though he would be the underdog probably, but now this thing about it, everybody, and their mama knows about it. Ennis, this is my personal opinion, but also Virgil Ortiz, unfortunately, he's probably out of the picture now. It's a big unfortunate, thing. Prayers up for Virgil Ortiz. Everybody knew. Now the story came out, the information came out that the health problems of him making weight 147, Stanionis fight was off. You already know it. So it looks like Virgil Ortiz is kind of out of the equation now in the welterweight division, unless he's going to still compete at welterweight, which is not a good idea in my humble opinion, but whatever. They know what they're going to do. Virgil Ortiz, he knows what he's going to do. I'm sure he's going to announce it soon to the world, to his fans. If he's going to move up to 154, but this is my thing about it. Ennis, his next opponent, ladies and gentlemen, it has to be the top freaking 3. And I'm not really going to mention, well, I can, but like Thurman and Ugas. I mean, there's rumors that I pushed a video on that, rumors that Ugas and Thurman are going to fight. Well, they get to freaking announcing already, please, because I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's going to happen in the welterweight division. The momentum is amazing in the sport of boxing. I mean, I've been enjoying it for always, but what we've been seeing recently with the opponents that, the fighters that have been fighting each other, the events since the beginning of 2023, I've been enjoying it way before that. I mean, I wasn't those to say, y'all got to follow this. I'm telling y'all, you got to follow the channel. I wasn't one to say in 2020 with the quarantine fights, I wasn't one to say boxing was dead. No way. A lot of people were. I wasn't. I was saying, oh, we're going to get some big matchups soon. These fights are going to start coming along. They're going to come out here. These, young lions are going to come out, want to fight each other. I'm saying? We're seeing more and more of it ever since then. I'm saying? I wasn't one to complain, and I'm still not. I still enjoy the sport of boxing. I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is this. Ever since we've been seeing this momentum of, the best fighting the best or what have you, and then, top competitors fighting top competitors, from prospects and contenders to champs, this momentum has to keep going. And this is what I'm trying to say here, that Ennis' next opponent, it has to be, Ugas, Thurman. If they're going to fight, freaking get it on. Please make an announcement already. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're just piddle-paddling with the news and whatever. News, ladies and gentlemen, nowadays. We all thought it was freaking Maul and Canelo. Now, all of a sudden, 180, it's Mel and Canelo now. I mean, we just don't know. So we really don't know if it's going to be Ugas or Thurman. My point is this. Ennis' next opponent should be, man. Has to be freaking Thurman, okay? Because a lot of people consider Thurman on the top still, whatever. I really don't, but Thurman, Ugas, Stanionis, Bud, or Spence. Now, it all rides on Spence and Bud. You already know it. It's been said a gazillion of times. But I think Ennis is the guy, man. He's the guy. He's going to take over the welterweight division, man. If he stays at welterweight division, which I mentioned a moment ago, that's another point. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of aspects to see, and pieces of the puzzle. So we really don't know if Ennis is going to stay at 147, because a lot of people saying he's real big for the division. If he's making weight and fighting, how long is, that's another question here. How long has Ennis been welterweight? For a while, man. A lot of people talk about, he's a big guy from 147. I don't know about that. He's too big. Weight bully guy or whatever they want to call him. He's been making weight, no problem. So, you know what I'm saying? So if Ennis is going to stay at 147, he's the guy who's going to take over these guys, man. But it all rides on Bud and Spence, man. What are they going to do after this fight, after this mega fight that's going down? Heck yes, Bud and Spence. If Bud Crawford wins, which is a possibility, we all know that. We should, Bud can win this fight, man. Bud can beat Spence. If Bud beats Spence, will there be a rematch clause? Or there is a rematch clause, but are they going to rematch at 47 or 54? I don't know, man. But all I know is this, man. If Bud or Spence, if Spence beats Bud, and there's a 180 thing, because y'all know boxing, man. Boxing is freaking boxing. And if Ennis gets an opportunity to win these guys, to fight with these guys, I think Ennis is going to take it, man. But what I want to see this. No more of these lower tier 10, top 10, lower tier of the top 10 for Ennis. No more of that. It's just enough for Ennis. Ennis is at the point where it has to break. Ennis is at the point where top 3 now. No more. No less than that in his future fights. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see though, but it all depends on the opponents too. I would love to see Stanionis next, because obviously Bud and Spence are going to be, they're going to be busy. So Stanionis and Ennis next. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Or Ugas or Thurman. If Ugas and Thurman are going to fight, whatever. Okay, so then freaking Stanionis and Ennis. But Ennis is the guy, man. Ennis is the guy. And if he does face Bud or Spence, man, at 47, I'm not talking about 54. At 47, I think Ennis beats them, man. But we'll have to see it to believe it, right? For it to be proven. But we'll see what happens, man. But overall, Ennis is just, beautiful, beautiful work. I want to see. I can't wait to see him again, man. To keep, giving us entertainment, because that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? So what do you guys think? Go ahead and comment section. RENEBOXYOUNG platforms to discuss, critique, analyze, talk about sport of boxing in a level-headed, mature, coherent fashion. Thank you guys so much. RENEBOXYOUNG. Peace.